If you're listening to this in real time, February to early March 2023, then you're in time to register for the Short Form Funnel Summit. It's completely free March 3rd through 6th, and it's audio only, which means you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time on social media or staring at a screen. What we're really doing is sharing words from experts to help you have short form video that converts potential followers into subscribers on your email list and sales for your products, which is what we really want at the end of the day. We're going to be talking about TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, and even short form video on platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn that get a little bit neglected and ignored. If you know you're going to be busy that weekend, or if you know you want a little more support, there will be an option to upgrade to an all-access pass, and the price will go up closer to the dates. So if you know you're going to want to get that, get it as soon as possible so you can save it. All of those links are in the show notes, or if you need a little more info, you can DM me on Instagram over at Brittany for Lenich. Hello and welcome to the Social Media Magic Podcast, the perfect podcast for TPT sellers, teacherpreneurs, and teacher business owners who consider themselves to be introverts. Each episode shares all kinds of ideas, tips, tactics, and strategies to help you make more sales and grow your community on social media. Without further ado, let's get on to today's episode. Welcome back to the Social Media Magic Podcast. My name is Brittany for Lenich. I'm a content strategist, social media manager, and an overall marketing nerd. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get right into it. Today, I'm answering the question of how you can get more reach with Reels. As a disclaimer, social media, and especially Instagram, is ever changing. Whatever they decide to prioritize with the algorithm will change that up a bit, just like how it does with TPT personalized search with I know. I probably just all heard your eyes roll if you are feeling the same way as I know many other sellers are right now. But I want to encourage you with Reels that the cool thing is what's working with Reels is basically the same thing that's working with all short form video, whether that's idea pins on Pinterest, shorts on YouTube. It's the same kinds of practices. So we're going to focus on what's working with Reels right now. The first thing is, and I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode, which if you have not listened to that one first, pause this episode, then go listen to the last one, because in the last episode, I shared what strategy is working for small businesses on Instagram in 2023, and it is specifically for introverts. And of course, I want you to keep an open mind. Don't just hear something and say, oh, an introvert wouldn't do that, because I promise you they are, but you get to decide at the end of the day what you want to do. It doesn't matter if it's introvert friendly, honestly, or not. It doesn't matter if other sellers are doing it. It doesn't matter if other seller coaches or marketing people are saying it. You get to choose. That is like one of my core soapboxes I have for you. So first thing I see a lot of people doing that's a mistake is just going with audio trends because someone said that audio was trending. There are so many audio trends that even though I find them personally funny, or maybe I would even think they're fun to do on my account, I don't do them. And why is that? Because it doesn't match with the goals or the brand that I have, at least for that account. You always have to be checking against your greater goals. Why are you here on this platform? What is it that you want to say? Who do you want to say that to? And how is that going to serve them? In fact, I just got an idea for a freebie. I'm going to make you guys a checklist. Like when you're about to post something, you're saying, how can I make this a purposeful post? So I'm making a note to do that. And by the way, this is a great idea if you're looking for things to do to make lead magnets, or what you should do to make products, is just start putting yourself out there and start creating content. You will get more ideas the more that you do and iterate and create and recreate things. So don't just use a trend or use a trending audio because it's fun and because people will see it. Because remember, just because your video or any kind of content gets seen by lots of people, it doesn't mean that it's going to get seen by a lot of the right people. It doesn't mean that you're going to get more followers. And even if you did get more followers, it doesn't mean that you're going to make more money. Followers are not the same as dollars, right? They're not the same. It's not the same as your income. Now, there are good reasons why you might want to increase your quote unquote vanity metrics. Having more followers does do something for social proof. It shows us subconsciously that you are someone worth following. If we sit there and really examine our own behavior, we'll probably see where we do at least one thing like that, where maybe we subscribe to somebody on YouTube because we see they have a lot of subscribers. We perceive someone as being successful because they have so many people in their Facebook group, or because they've spoken at so many conferences. Whatever it is that in our minds gives somebody a position of authority, we trust them more, right? That's just how we are as people. And that's why having social proof, like having followers, could be helpful, but it doesn't directly relate to the amount of money you make. So don't stress yourself out about that. And it's the same thing for reach. However, reach could be leveraged a little bit better. So if we're getting reach and we're just not getting the right reach, we just need to make a few tweaks. If we're not getting any reach on our content, then we really need to look at the content itself and say, how can I make this better? And that's what we're really talking about in this episode is how can we make better reels? So one way to increase your reach on your reel is to think about the thumbnails. Very similarly to if you have a YouTube channel, the thumbnail is really important. It helps people decide between multiple videos that are showing up, maybe answering the same question. If there are 5 people who have videos on YouTube and one just happens to have a thumbnail that's slightly more appealing and that seems to show the person who's searching that video is more than likely to answer their question, then that's more than likely the one they're going to click on and choose. And it's the same exact thing with Reels. Now, Reels is a bit different because when we think of how people are actually using the platform and with Reels, they're just kind of flicking and scrolling. Usually, like if you think about Facebook Reels, you're scrolling and then you see that Reels preview screen, you click on one, and then you start seeing a whole bunch of them. On Instagram, you might go to the Reels tab and then you just start scrolling and you see a whole bunch of them, kind of in this endless page scroll stream. In that case, the thumbnail cover isn't as important, but a couple of reasons why it might be. One, sometimes when you scroll, depending on your phone, it kind of pauses on the thumbnail, even just for a microsecond, and that helps someone decide whether or not they want to stay and watch your video. I know it's so brutal. We have like less than a second sometimes to get their attention. If they're going to your profile, which is one step in that marketing funnel of them going to your profile to check you out, like maybe they did see a piece of content that they liked, as they saw a reel they liked. And so they go to your profile to check out what else you have going on. And then all of the rest of the reels don't look related to the piece of content they went and sought you out for. Or maybe they feel like it's not congruent with why they came onto your profile because maybe they saw you speak at a summit. Maybe they got something from you in a collaborative bundle. Maybe they heard about you from someone else. But then when they do a quick glance at your Reels tab, it doesn't seem like it matches up with what they thought they were going to you for. Then they might not be interested anymore. So we want to make sure that the cover of our Reels, or if it's just a still of the actual reel, actually shows really quickly what it's about. So think about what is in that image. Do you have any props that you could be holding or at least included in the background that show what you're doing? I follow this girl, Emily Eats and Explores, and I think she's just done this so masterfully. Whenever I think of her, I think of pink because those are always the colors she uses in her text, even in the still real cover photos. I think of the map that she has in the back of her room, and obviously, since she's a travel blogger, it totally makes sense to have a map as her backdrop. So think about that. How can you even set up the room where you record to make it look more like you are? So me as a social media manager, maybe I would have like a big ring light and be able to have some things you can kind of see. Maybe I would do some B-roll to record myself working in Canva on a computer, which sounds so funny saying it out loud because it seems kind of boring. But when we start thinking of our reels more strategically like that, we're going to get better video. We're going to actually plan our reels out more in advance. And just because we're putting more energy and thought and strategy and practice into the production of them, which it is, it's kind of like little mini productions. We're creating little mini movies, and the better results we're going to get. You also want to think about the actual flow of the reel. Like I said before on YouTube, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time introducing yourself or saying, hey guys, thanks for following me or welcome back. We don't want to assume that because with reels are a discovery strategy. It's how people find you for the first time. They might just be randomly scrolling when they come across your video. So you want to talk to them like they're a perfect stranger. And I wouldn't spend a whole bunch of time introducing yourself because remember, we get like a second or less than that. So we need to show them right away why they need to keep watching. If you want to see someone who does this really masterfully, go check out Mr. Beast on YouTube. He always starts his YouTube videos with something crazy, like some big explosion, somebody giving money away, and you are hooked. You need to keep watching the rest of the video. Even if his videos aren't your thing, you can just go see the strategy of how he does it because you need to see what's happening. There's another really good example that Pat Flynn on the Smart Passive Income uses. Go search Leon, Leon, I think it is, the lobster on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. You'll see why when you see the thumbnail of that video, you have to click on it because you're just so curious. So think, how can you evoke that curiosity? And maybe it's not curiosity. Maybe you want to provoke a different emotion in the people who come to follow you. Maybe you want them to have a reaction to something you say or believe or did. Someone else who has really good reels, I can't think of her handle, which is so sad. But she always says, I've been vegan for 7 years, and here's one of my favorite plant-based recipes. It's a really simple opener, and she uses it in all of her videos. But it's great because it does a couple of things. One, it says who she is. Two, it positions her as an authority because she's been doing it for 7 years, so she's had a lot of time to practice and experiment in the kitchen to make good things. And she tells me exactly what I'm going to expect in that video. Here's one of my favorite plant-based recipes. So that already kind of qualifies you as someone who would want to watch it. Like, are you vegan, or are you interested in eating healthier, or are you interested in a plant-based lifestyle? Then you want to keep watching this video. So think of how you can do that for your person. What are they learning from you? What do you want to come to be known for? When someone thinks of X, they think of you, right? So what is that? Is it when they think of science of reading, they think of you? When they think of American history, they think of you? One of my clients does doodle notes. That's her thing. We want her to be known as the person for that. I know someone else in the TPT space who her thing is Google Form escape rooms. That is what she's known for. Upper elementary too. So think about that for you. What do you want to be known for? And I know that's a really hard question because I've struggled with that too. I don't want to pick just one thing. You might know me for Facebook groups. You might know me for social media. And you can see how Facebook groups is a little bit more of a granular version than social media. But think about that. It could be as general as the topic, but I would say the more specific you can get, like what is your method or a certain product line that you've done that's really well, and go look at your data, right? Go look at your data dashboard and think, what already sells really well on TPT, on Etsy or Amazon, whatever marketplace or wherever you're selling things, what's already working well? And then amplify that. Social media is a good place to amplify a message, and think about the why. So that goes on to our next one, is telling the story. I've seen people do this all the time. I've heard a lot of people say Instagram isn't good for selling. That's not a place where you show up and sell. It's because they're not doing it right. I follow this one person who he's really interesting. I don't know his name either, which is so funny. I'm thinking about it. But he buys these thrift store paintings and then he paints in other characters. And it's just mesmerizing to watch. So he doesn't even have his face in the videos a lot. He's using his voice, he's creating voiceovers and actually showing his work. He's painting in the video, he's showing how he does it, and it's just so cool to watch. And the nice thing is, he's naturally showcasing not only his skill and authority and showing that he knows what he's talking about, but he's highlighting the product itself, because at the end of the video, you see the ended product and you're like, I want that. And then he quickly, like no more than 2 seconds, says, if you want this, you can go buy it at the link in my bio or message me for this thing. He doesn't make a big deal about it. 99% of that video is value, and you can incorporate that into your reel too. Think about a product. Think about almost like an in-action video that you would have as a video preview on TPT. Could you show yourself coloring a product from start to finish? Could you show how you stage a product for product photography? Even if you're not teaching about product photography, you could just show yourself setting up the photo shoot, so you get to have some kind of B-roll behind the scenes footage, but then you can also end with the photo of that product looking in its beautiful shiny glory, and then say, if you want this, go to the link in my bio or follow me on TPT or whatever you want your call to action to be. By the way, with Reels, remembering that it's a discoverability strategy. One really great way to sell with Reels is to ask for them to leave a comment. If you want this resource, leave a comment or comment me, and I will reach out to you and send it to you. One, it's easy for them to do. They don't have to click off the app. They don't have to go to your bio and then find the link and then go through your smart bio and try to find the resource. Make it as easy as possible for them. Strategically, what this does is when they leave a comment, you're going to go reply to them and say, hey, I'm sending you a message now. And then you're going to send them a message saying, hey, you just commented on my reel for this. We were talking about da-da-da. And then you send the link. Don't just send the link right away, by the way, because then it's probably almost automatically going to go to their message requests, and then they won't see it because most people don't know to check there. And even people who do know don't always check in there every day. So that's a really great way to use Reels and get more reach, because now that reel has not only that person's comment, but then your response to the comment, and then maybe them coming back and saying thank you, and other people commenting on it, that is going to show Instagram that that is a valuable reel, and they're going to push that out to more people. So that's a really easy hack that you can do, is just on the reel itself, comment below with X word if you want this. And it could be as easy as comment me below. This might be a little bit more advanced if you haven't done a lot of thinking through content creation before, but if you can, storyboard your reels. Think about the journey or story that you're taking them on. And one thing I like to tell my clients and my students in my programs is that You are not the hero of this journey. Even though you're the hero of your journey, whoever is watching, listening to whatever you're making or creating, they're the main character of their story. They're the hero. And what you're doing is you are becoming the guide. You are the Yoda and they are the Luke Skywalker. You are the Phil, they are the Hercules. Okay, think of it like that. And it makes sense, right? Because every teacher wants to make a positive difference on their students. Every educator wants to make an impact. I'm sure you feel that way too, especially if you're still in the classroom. So how can you showcase that your resource, that your bundle, that whatever it is you're offering, your course, membership, coaching, done for you service is going to do that for them? That it's going to help them be the ultimate hero they need to be because they are the hero for those kids. That's how they see themselves. So how can you lean into that with your content? Another tactic I've loved doing is series. How can you turn, especially if you're repurposing, a podcast episode, a blog post, a YouTube video, or a series of post episodes and videos into a series of reels? This does a couple of things for you. One, if you say on the reel that it's a series, like you could do this towards the beginning or towards the end, keep it really brief. Hey, this is actually a series. This is reel 1 or 2 of a series about X, da, da, da. If someone knows the series, that gives them a chance to go and follow you so they can see the future ones. Or even if they don't know whether or not they want to follow you yet, they can go back to your profile and watch the other reels in that series. Knowing that you're going to be creating more content about a topic that's relevant to them, that they're interested in, gives them more reason to follow you, not only there, but maybe to opt into your email list or subscribe to you on YouTube or go join you on other platforms. Now, these are just a few of the tips. There are a million things you could do with Reels. And honestly, there could be a whole course on Reels. Maybe I'll release one eventually, who knows? But I will say I have some resources for you right now that are free. Some are free, some are paid. If you haven't already and you're listening to this in real time, we're hosting the Short Form Funnel Summit, March 3rd through 6th. That is going to be great if you're wanting to get good at Reels. And the cool thing is what you're going to learn isn't just going to be about Reels. It's going to be applicable to YouTube Shorts, to idea pins on Pinterest, to TikTok videos, to short form video on LinkedIn even is getting into it. Facebook Reels, I feel like that's one that gets forgotten about a lot. Once we get better at these skills overall and become really production managers of these videos, it's going to be a lot less scary to put them out. And the more content we can put out, the better we're going to get. And a lot of people I know like to say quality over quantity, but honestly, quantity matters too. If we want to have more reach, if we want to have more people seeing our content, if we want to get more views on our videos, we need to put out more content because we don't have enough data yet to know what kind of content is resonating. Is there a different format you could be trying, like B-roll and doing a voiceover versus a head-on talking head kind of thing? You have to try different things to be able to get enough data to make a better data-driven decision on whether or not you want to keep doing it, or is it just that you need to get better? So I hope that you come to the Short Form Funnel Summit. If nothing else, it's going to be completely audio. So that weekend, it'll be private podcast style. I'll have the link in the show notes for you. But if you decide that you want to implement it and actually get with people face-to-face in a Zoom call and get some hot seat coaching and get some content creation done, you should definitely check out the All Access Pass as well. It will be available to buy after the summit is over. So if you're listening to this in the future, you can get the evergreen version from the show notes. But if you're listening beforehand, get the All Access Pass as soon as you can so you can save money because the price will go up closer to the event. I'd love to hear from you and hear your takeaways and also answer your questions. So you're welcome to reach out to me on Instagram over at Brittany Verlenich or come join the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/audience and authority. You can also search for Social Media Magic and find us there. Talk to you soon.